Welcome back to Askings by Abby. As I promised, here is the exciting video that shows us how to make these great, fun plastic beads. First off though, I would like to say you can use a blowtorch for this, which is great and it works wonderfully, but if you don't have one, or if you're not comfortable using one, I used a candle for most of the beads that I made and it works perfectly fine. So, if you're not comfortable with it, you don't know how to use it, you probably shouldn't. Just use a candle. Works just as well. Alright, so let's get started.
Go.
If you do use a blowtorch, make sure safety first. So here are the tools that you're going to need. A scissors is probably the most important tool you will ever need in crafts. So always have a scissors handy. Also you're going to need a pliers. This works wonderfully for holding your plastic in place. And also a round nose pliers works well. Also. And you will need a candle if you don't want to use a blowtorch. Any type of candle will do as long as there's an open flame. It works wonderfully. And then up here we just have some extras, if you will. There's some Crayola markers and crayons, and I also have a Sharpie. You can kind of get crazy and fun with this. Whatever you want to add to your plastic is fine, but you just have to trial and error. And so then to probably the most important part would be the plastic, because you can't do anything without your plastic. You don't have to use pop bottles, but I just found that they were easy for me to maneuver, and my family drinks a lot of pop. So anyway, you need to cut those apart and then get strips about this big. This one's about 1 inch by 2 inches. This one's a little bit bigger. I did all different shapes and sizes, and so it really doesn't matter. This one was a larger one, and then these were smaller ones, and so it's your preference. And the first step would be to flip it up so it's curved, sitting up like this. And then if you want to add colors to the inside, this would be where you do it on this side. With the crayons, I found it's very easy to either, it's fun to kind of melt them a little bit in the candle. So you just melt the tip, and then you draw on it, so it gives it a little bit of a painted look. Or you can also use a different color. Cut them up into little chunks like this, and then you put that on the inside of your plastic, and that will melt and give it a cool look. Alright, so I think that has enough fun stuff in it. Now for the even more fun part. You want to use a toothpick so you ensure that you are going to have a hole in the middle for your wire or your string to go through. Otherwise it wouldn't be a bead, it would just be a blob. And so we're going to first fold it over like this. It doesn't matter how much space you want to leave, as long as you can roll it up into a cylinder and have it stay. The size doesn't matter at all. It's all your personal preference. And just keep rolling it around this toothpick. And it sometimes helps if you take your pliers and you hold it in place, and then you wrap it around, grab it, hold it in place, and then keep wrapping it around. Sometimes I find that that's easiest for me anyway. We lost a little bit of crayon, but that should be okay. I think we have enough in there. Alright, and then you again take your pliers once it's all the way wrapped. Squeeze it as tight as you can, just so it doesn't pop off. And then you're going to go to the crazy blowtorch. Now when you do this, be careful not to fully submerge your piece of plastic into the flame. You just want to kind of put the edges to the edges, if you will. So only put the edges of the plastic to the edge of the flame. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big mess. So I'll show you what I mean. Kind of like this. And your toothpick may start on fire, but if it does, the logical thing would be to blow it out. It shouldn't be a big problem. And then you also want to get the flame on some of the sides as well. And so I would recommend kind of holding it as so. And then on the other side as well, see how it kind of eats away at it? If you do fully submerge your plastic into the flame, it will just kind of turn this charred, ugly color. So that's why I recommend not doing that. And when you do it this way, you get this great looking, molten, awesome bead. After you let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, you can take it off and you'll have your bead like this. This is the exact same bead except for it doesn't have anything on the inside, it's just the plastic. And then you are free to string it through anything you'd like. And there you have it, Plastic Bead Making 101. Be sure to tune into this channel next week for a video that shows you how to actually incorporate these beads into different pieces of jewelry. And be sure also to check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/accentsbyabby. The address is below, so be sure to check it out. Thanks!